Hey everyone, welcome to LuminAxis Scripture Plus Strategy. Here we believe that within every scripture there is a strategy for growth, for success, for preservation, and for perseverance. So join me for this next couple of minutes while we dive into a particular scripture and then expose the strategy hidden inside that scripture. So today I want to talk about a topic leading through prolonged ambiguity, and we'll take our scripture from Psalm 13. There is a kind of leadership pain that is hard to talk about, or maybe it's not talked about enough, right? It is not failure, it is not betrayal, it is not even burnout, right? This is ambiguity. It is the slow ache of not knowing how long the tension will last, not knowing if the strategy is working, not knowing why the breakthrough hasn't come, not knowing if the silence means no or not yet. Prolonged ambiguity is where leaders are tested, right? It's not in their technical capacity, but in what I like to call the soul endurance. And this is the terrain of Psalm 13. In Psalm 13, we see a leader in limbo, right? We see a leader in limbo. He screams, "How long, Lord? Will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me?" Right? This psalm is just 6 verses long, but it is dense with emotional weight. It is a model of how to lead yourself and even how to lead others when you have no clarity, no confirmation, and no timeline. David, the author of this psalm, he's not in active war. He is not celebrating victory. He's just waiting. And the silence is beginning to feel like abandonment. Does that sound familiar? Maybe your company is waiting on a funding decision. Maybe your church is stuck in a stagnant season. Maybe you're leading a team through a foggy transition. Or maybe your personal breakthrough hasn't come and it's affecting everything else. Well, Psalm 13 does not offer a fix, it offers a process. This psalm, it unfolds in 3 parts, and each part is essential for individuals, for leaders who are navigating ambiguity. So let's start. The first part is what I like to call the lament. You find that in verses 1 and 2. This is the honest naming of the inner agitation. It is the honest naming of your frustration. Here David says, "How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and day after day have sorrow in my heart?" Like, David doesn't start with affirmation. He starts with raw honesty. He names his confusion. He verbalizes his exhaustion. Like, the leadership lesson here is this: you cannot lead well in ambiguity if you pretend you're unaffected by it. Suppressing emotion is not strength, it is a setup for collapse. David models what I like to call spiritually safe vulnerability. Like, he talks to God, not just about God. He brings his weariness into relationship. My question to you is this: what have you been enduring without naming? Have you created space to voice the how long in your own story? How long do I have to wait for this? How have you created space to voice that out? Moving on. The second part of this psalm is what I call the appeal, right? We find this in verses 3 and 4. It is petition for perspective and preservation. Here David says, "Look on me and answer, Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death." I love this. See, David shifts from lament to request. From lament to request. But his request is a little bit different. He doesn't ask for a full plan. He doesn't even request for a way out. He requests for light in his eyes. He asks for light in his eyes. He says, give light to my eyes. In other words, help me see enough to keep going. This is key. He does not pray for resolution. He prays for revelation. He knows he may not get the timeline, but he refuses to lose sight. The lesson here is this. In prolonged ambiguity, your most powerful prayer is not, Lord, fix this. Your most powerful prayer is, Lord, keep my vision alive. Help me see enough to keep going. Help me to not lose sight. Help me to see enough to keep being faithful, to keep pursuing. Pray for clarity of purpose, not control of the process. So my question here is this. Are you asking for light or for the full explanation? Where do you need just enough insight to stay faithful? Where do you need just enough light, just enough revelation, just enough illumination to keep going, to keep the momentum alive? Where do you need just enough insight to stay faithful? And the last section is what I call the pivot. This is found in verses 5 and 6. It is anchoring in past faithfulness. David says, but I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise. Here, David pivots, not because the situation has changed, but because he chose a different focal point. He goes from asking how long to declaring, I will sing. This is not denial, it's discipline. It is the discipline of anchoring your soul in what you know, when what you don't know is screaming louder. I take it again. I said it is the discipline of anchoring your soul in what you know, when what you do not know is screaming louder. The lesson here is very simple. When the future is unclear, anchor in what God has already done. Let remembrance become resistance. Whew, I like that. Let remembrance become resistance. David ends the psalm by choosing worship over worry, not because the ambiguity is over, but because his heart is settled in something deeper than the circumstances. So let's wrap this up. The framework here is very simple. Number one, name the ambiguity. Don't mask it. Acknowledge it privately in prayer and also wisely with trusted advisors. Number two, ask for light, not control. Shift your prayer from outcome obsession to insight resilience. Shift your prayer from outcome obsession, change this, fix this, change this, fix this, to give light to my eyes. Let me see enough to keep going. Number three, anchor in past evidence. Make it a habit to recount God's previous faithfulness. Let it stabilize your present. Remember, let remembrance become resistance. Number four, lead from centeredness. Your team, your family, your friends, your relationships, they don't need you to have all the answers. They need you to have a rooted spirit. And lastly, sing anyway. Build rituals of praise that train your emotions even when the situation hasn't changed. So my last words are these. Psalm 13 doesn't guarantee that the fog will lift, but it does guarantee that you and I can stay grounded in the fog. See, when leaders abandon worship, when you and I abandon worship, we tend to over-control, over-function, or emotionally shut down. But when we remain worshipful, we remain calibrated. We remain centered. We lead from presence, not panic. Now, if you're currently in a state of prolonged ambiguity, if you are in a season of prolonged waiting, don't underestimate what is being built in the silence. Sometimes, ambiguity is not just the pause between assignments. It's not just the pause between, oh, I'm here and I want to get here and I'm confused, I don't know what to do. Oftentimes, it is the forge of your interior transformation. And the leader who endures ambiguity well becomes the kind of leader others can trust when clarity is scarce. So, Psalm 13 isn't just a cry for help. It is a leadership calibration protocol. It is a strategy for uncertain seasons. Remember, your assignment does not pause when clarity does, but neither does the grace to endure it. This is Scripture Plus Strategy. Thank you for joining us. I hope this was extremely helpful to you. Let us know in the comment section what resonated with you the most. This is talking about prolonged ambiguity and how to strategically align, how to strategically guide yourself and give yourself inner guidance and inner resilience as you lead through ambiguity. Lastly, do not forget to try out the LuminAxis app. This is exactly what the app is designed for. It takes a situation you're facing, it personalizes it, gives you scripture, and gives you the strategy around that scripture on how to move forward in your decision making in your daily life. It is spiritual intelligence designed for daily life. So try it out. We'll see you on the inside. For now, God bless you and peace.